Well, welcome, and thank you for joining us today on the Leadership Cafe, where we talk with extraordinary people who are leading remarkable businesses. And we're your hosts. I'm Michael Couch.
And I'm Richard Citrin, and it's great to be with you today. In times of change like we're all experiencing, it's important to turn to some of our finest leaders and find out how they are directing their businesses, creating their businesses in some way, and contributing to their communities to make things run a little bit better during these challenging times. And what we're seeing among our best clients is that they're pivoting quickly to address the needs of their organizations and customers. They're reaching out and connecting to stakeholders in new ways, and they're acknowledging and appreciating the jobs being done by frontline workers and taking actions to help out their communities to deal with what has been a very challenging 2020.
Right. Yeah. And before we dive in to meet our guest today, we want to make sure we thank our sponsor, Vaco, who is they're a global talent solutions company, and we appreciate their support and sponsorship of the podcast. Well, I'm very excited about our next guest, who's in a business that's very different. So we've been had folks on the podcast from manufacturing, from healthcare, from the financials, from we're even talking with a chief from the Seneca Nation, I think, tomorrow, something very different. But today, this afternoon, we have a young gentleman who is the CEO of an esports company, and we'd like to introduce and welcome Seth Mason.
Hey, Seth, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, so and I forgot to mention, beyond the esports company, there's also Seth's Socks, which we'll want to touch in on. Which you started at the ripe old age of how old was that, Seth?
I started 15, my sophomore year in high school.
Fantastic. We'll be excited to learn. So yeah, that's I think it'd be great if we could start off learning a little bit more about you and your background, and then also about all the businesses you've got rolling right now.
Yeah, so my name's Seth Mason. I'm 22 years old. I'm currently living in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. I really started my entrepreneurial path and business really knowledge from my parents working in their small business at the age of 10 years old. They had a screen printing embroidery company. So right after school, I'd run home and get the T-shirts from the press, and I'd organize them, box them up for the customers right before they would come home. So I was always doing that literally at the age of 10 years old, running home and doing the same thing. My mom picked me up and we would go right into the office and work. And then even the off days, I would remember telling my mom, like, hey, I want a day off from school, or hey, I'm feeling sick. The overall, you try and get a day off school, and she would say, okay, that's fine, but you're gonna have to come help build trophies for me. So I remember multiple times I would go off school, I'd be able to sleep until like 9 or 10. My mom would wake me up. She'd, let's go work at the office, and I'd be literally building trophies, and her customers would be coming in saying, oh, I see what you're doing here. Your day off school and you're putting them to work. So
yeah,
I was always just built up that community and that environment where, small business, especially in America, it's every day, 7 days a week. You have to keep it going because you're living off that. And even my dad took my mom's business was taking off. So I saw my dad take his first risk really big. He worked for the state for well over 12 years, I believe. Was getting really good money and had upper management at PennDOT. So, and then he left that all behind to take the risk and help build my mom's business. So I really grew up with like taking risk and seeing the rewards as well and the hard work. So I was really built up on that. And then when I was 15, started my own sock company. It was Christmas. I asked my dad, hey, can you give me a pair of these socks? They are $40 at the time. He's like, no, why would I ever spend $40 on a pair of socks? Then I walked over to my mom and I was like, hey, Mom, please, I really want these. And she said, yeah. So still to this day, I tell my dad he shut down the idea from the beginning of, the customized socks. I still tease them and my mom's helped support it. So, but again, my parents had machines. So we were able to, start experimenting with the socks and get it going. I used my dad used to sell sporting goods back in the early 2000s. So I was able to use his account and I sold the first pair of socks for $55 online. So that's when my parents knew, like, oh crap, he is actually onto something here. So they were looking to really start getting everything going.
So Seth, you bought socks and then you logoed them, you customized them.
Correct. Yeah.
Manufacturing your own socks.
Yeah, I was using Nike Elites at the time. So Nike obviously has the brand. I was buying dealer, and I was customizing them. So they were white, and I was printing on them, making them custom and everything else. So yeah, I used already a brand that was out there and then resold them, similar to like what schools use for like Nike gear or whatever. They put their own logos on. Same thing that was used in their socks. Point where the market, like I said, was at 40, and my parents and I strategy was really about, okay, let's capture the market and sell more volume, lower the profits. Our profits margin is still good, but let's undercut this market because there's a lot of money to be made. And we literally market started to adjust. I remember getting emails from all the competitors saying, "What are you doing? You're ruining the market, the prices." And all while we were just getting the whole market. The whole market was coming towards us, low price, high quality. We're very quick with it, to the point where I'd come home day after school and I'd have to print shipping labels on Amazon because it was crazy, to the point where we were selling like 40, 50 a day. Now on Christmas time, it was to the point where it was getting out of hand, where I'd work 7 days a week on my Christmas break. I'd get up around 9 a.m. I'd print until the post office closed around 5. I'd take a little break, play games, get my mind off work, and then I would go back to work around 10. I'd print all the way up until like 3, 4 a.m. So I was constantly, and this is just to keep up. If I didn't do this, we'd have been swamped with orders, and it was crazy. It was big, like 2 big post office bag orders. So I was a lot of hard work. It was like double press. So like there was no time to just like stand around. So as you're printing, the next one's coming up. So it's like constant movement back and forth for like 8 hours straight. So really the physical toll wasn't a big thing, but that's when I really learned to be mentally strong and really develop that mentality of pushing through things, and stuff doesn't always go your way, and you kind of have to keep going, and get to you, then you're never going to accomplish any of your goals. So again, I learned that at the age 16, 17, 18 years old, where a lot of people my age probably think the opposite. I know I have a lot of friends that are like, wow, how do you get through this thing? Or even just like the past couple of weeks where we had a live stream go down, they're like, Seth, the whole stream crashed and you come downstairs and you're like perfectly fine, you're content. Like I'd be. Yeah. I'm just like, this is a small thing compared to what I've been experiencing. So sure. Don't let the little stuff go, especially as a leader. You don't want to things really get to you and stuff like that. So.
Great. Yeah. So and you went from that, you started the esports business, and then stuff like COVID hits. What did that mean for both Seth's Socks and the esports company?
Hey, but before you go there, there's probably some listeners who don't know what esports is.
Oh, okay.
So maybe you should kind of give a little bit of a background about esports, because it hasn't been around that long, and you'll probably, if you're over 35, you have no idea what esports is.
Yeah, so esports is competitive video games. So there's multiple esports out there, ranging from NBA games where they're actually playing virtual basketball against each other, and from Fortnite, which is one of the biggest games really on earth right now, and it's still booming, and it just raised I think over 100 million or 500 million dollars. So they're still continuing to grow and raising capital. So esports has really started to take off really in the past 2 years, and now with COVID and where everyone has to social distance or stay inside, video games is really starting to take off, and the viewership, especially on Twitch, which is a live streaming platform where you can play video games and people watch you and they can subscribe and donate. We've seen people like Ninja, which is one of the really face of esports, to the point where he signed a $30 million contract with Mixer, which is owned by Microsoft, a streaming platform, and he got paid $30 million guaranteed just to go to their platform. This is football, NFL player money, NBA money. So sports is to take off, and code for esports has really helped really me transition to the previous company I was working for into this new age of what I wanted to do with what I'm doing right now. So COVID, has kind of really helped me with on the esports side, and same even with the socks side, where I can focus in on really strategizing how I want to take on the next steps and making sure I have plans ahead just in case something like this would happen again. I'm better prepared. And I was listening to Mark Cuban talk about COVID and how all these businesses are going to start up from COVID. You're going to see the next $100 million, $500 million business pop up because of COVID. And I think it's true, because it's really helped me to kind of take some time, refocus on what I want to do, and then take these next steps with the sport company that I started here. So I feel like COVID, I know it's been a bad thing for a lot of people in America, but you can always find positives in negative times, and that's why I've really tried to do my best in trying to provide that. And that's really why I started the sport company, all about giving back and providing opportunities to the students that are involved with us, and also like we have people from the age of 13 all the way up until the age of 35 playing games and competing on these different teams. So we're really impacting them and showing the community, because community is really what connects all of us and keeps us together and fight through these hard times, because you never want to do anything like this alone. If you have people there to help you and support you and want to make you grow, and that's what we really provide, and that's why it's working so well with us, especially with the eSport company. So.
Sure. Well, when the things that you're saying really ring true across a number of the CEOs that we've talked to, that there's something good that can come out of this. It is tough, but it's also a time to refocus, re-strategize. I think we've heard also a time to innovate, and then I think companies that weren't as innovative are finding that they can be more innovative. They can move quicker than they thought they could. Even for an innovative business like yours, have you seen some of the same things?
Yeah, I mean, just like never being really comfortable as well. Like you said, there's some of those businesses, they start to get comfortable a little bit. They didn't feel like they had to innovate or continue pushing forward. But now you see something like a pandemic where it makes you realize, like, wow, okay, our business model needs to expand, needs to continue to grow and continue to change really to the times that we're living in. Because now in 2020, technology is advancing very quickly. This before, talking for the podcast is, about the curriculum and everything going on around us, and how that's making really everything adapt. Online courses now with colleges and high schools. So we're starting to see this new world, I would say, after this COVID stuff hopefully is controlled and passing over. But just doing those different things and innovating, I feel like, is the key to really any successful business, is never being complacent and content, push forward and coming up with new ideas is where you grow and become different, to differentiate yourself from the pack as well.
Seth, how important is it for you to be listening to your customers? Have you gotten ideas from them? I mean, obviously, you're dealing with a tech-savvy group. These are folks who, if one platform's not working right, that there's no loyalty, I assume, unless you sign that big $30 million contract. Are your customers telling you, giving you leads, or are you just kind of scoping out the environment and figuring out what the best direction is to take?
Yeah, so the best part about our community is we have over 1,600 players from not only across the state, Pennsylvania, but across the country. They're giving us feedback and input, and that's what I really tell them. We actually have one-on-one interview meetings before they even sign on to a team. They talk to me. So we talk. I really get to know them and understand who they are, where they're coming from, and also take their feedback and opinions, like, okay, why are you here? What brought you to this point, and what do you see esports doing in the future, and any ideas they may have. And it's literally like every day I wake up with 10 messages and 10 different ideas and feedback and all this different stuff. So and that's literally every single day, 7 days a week, I'm getting messages. And I love talking to people. I love getting to know people and understanding, because it helps me better my business and what I'm doing, and giving them these different opportunities and experience in esports to help build them up, not only for playing games, but outside of life. And, I've seen a lot of people as well come into the community very timid and shy. And all of a sudden, esports is kind of that connection and the common ground where now they're starting to build social skills and really, starting to lead meetings now and become general. So what I'm doing is like really positively impacting me, because I'm taking a step back and saying, wow, this is like really working. There's a reason why this is really growing as well very quickly. It's because I'm helping people get better and better themselves and meet new people and continue on with whatever they may be. So I feel like that's the best thing that I'm doing so far.
Excellent. Could you mention, you and I talked at the podcast about the great doing curriculum and with schools.
Yeah,
that was very intriguing.
Especially at the high school level, we're really focusing on the learning and applying, to a business like ourselves. So we actually have 4 level operating social media pages for our franchises, and they're learning how to build a 7-day content calendar and a 30-day marketing on certain social media platforms at what time, and how to run social media ads on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and how to target these different people to sell your goods or services, or what's going on right now. They've been doing it for about 3 weeks. They're really enjoying it. They're having fun. They want more. They want another franchise. And again, they're learning this at a high school level where they can instantly apply this to what we're doing here, but other businesses as well, restaurants that may need some social media help and website building. They can instantly take this certification in these classes to get this knowledge at the high school level, and then take it and start making money and start making a living off an agency and whatever they want to do. So It's all hands-on. They all learn together in a team. They understand what it's like to be in a company and relying on other people, as well as the graphic designers are working with and the video editors to edit those montages and those clips to whatever they want to post. So they really understand the team bonding and the team building, and understand that it's not just one person that makes everything run. It takes a team for anything, not only in business and not even in esports, but in life. It takes a team. If you want to get anywhere from point A to point B, you're going to need a support structure and people to help you get to that. Because I've never, like, this goes for everything in esports. Like Ninja, the biggest of the biggest people, he didn't do it himself. He has, his wife helped become his manager. His family support them from the beginning. So that's what we really want to make these. It's just not you doing all this. I understand there's a whole team behind it, because there's a lot of people that are thinking that it's just one person, doing everything. So,
Seth, in a fast-moving business like yours, do you have a business strategy, or is it more the case of, I've got 10 emails on my Outlook this morning, let me see where the best opportunities are?
Yeah, so we're really focusing at the high school level currently, and also at the amateur level. We're kind of college to figure itself out, because it's still a little shady gray area, especially for esports right now. So actually just this morning, I got an email from one of our local high schools here. They're interested in getting a program. So I'm building them a whole LAN center with PCs and all the gaming equipment for them to start competing in the league here in October. Help that curriculum around it. So in the fall, winter, they're going to be starting their league and getting the players started competing. And then in the springtime, they're going to really focus in on, okay, they're in this program. How can we start getting the broadcasting and the journalism students involved? How do we get the social media marketing team involved? And how do we get, the graphic designers and the artists involved? So not only will these schools be getting an esports program and they're just playing games. No, it's going to be more so about the curriculum that's going to follow with us here at the eSport Company, where these students now will be involved in a big team at their school, where now you're going to have school versus school marketing plans and marketing strategies. And they're going to be going after each other and seeing who has the best team at the schools, because the designers and the art students are going to work together and get made and graphics made for this week's matches. Then the social media managers are going to take those graphics. They're going to develop that 7-day content calendar, making sure the community, people that support their schools, know what's going on, and not only for esports, but for other activities throughout the school year. And then the production and the management and the broadcasters are going to actually broadcast those live matches and talk about it and do pre-game shows and player interviews. And then after the games are over, then the journalism students are going to take all that, all the scores, stats, highlights, write articles and blog posts about it and what's going on at the school and this player and that player and everything else. So I'm really excited for that. That's something that's never been done before. And it's all about applying that real experience so these students can take it. They can immediately get that satisfaction of it's on the website. They see it. They see their name on it. People are reading it. People are watching it, interacting. And that's what I feel like our curriculum currently in our school system is really lacking, is that immediate satisfaction for our students and showing them that this actually can apply right away. So I feel like that's what we're really excited for at the high school level.
And what an amazing way to build the industry at the same time. I mean, to have that core group of people who can help create a whole new industry for the U.S. and outside. So.
Yep.
So Seth, I want to ask you, I don't know if you feel like you were born an entrepreneur, or kind of your upbringing with your parents, their business kind of taught you how to be an entrepreneur. But I guess I wonder about that. What you think about entrepreneurship as being, and leaderful entrepreneurship as being something that kind of hardwired, or do you see yourself as passing this on to these high school students, that they're kind of learning some entrepreneurship as well as business skills?
Exactly. It's all about understanding. So I want to give all the students that's in our curriculum this idea that we are like a small business, family-owned business, and I'm very transparent with all the kids and the people that get involved with our companies. So yes, it's all about teaching them at a younger age that this is possible. You don't have to work a 9-to-5 job to make ends meet. You can do your own thing and make a schedule, and literally everything's computer based now, where you can literally sit at a desk like myself right now and make money for things for different companies and businesses out there, because our small businesses are looking for that, especially the older generation. They don't understand social media ads and all these different things. It's foreign language basically to them. So these students have an opportunity right now to get involved and kind of build it. But I would say, even my high school level, I was very shy and timid still. So, even my family members say, like, you're talking to this guy, you're talking to this person. Like, we never even envisioned you doing these different things that you're doing right now. But, it's just kind of those things that I built on. I really, the biggest thing was I didn't really care what other people thought about me. That's what now living in the digital age where there's Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and everybody knows everything about everyone, or they try to think they do. Right now, I barely post on anything on socials. I kind of just hone in on what I'm doing and making sure myself's happy before I try to impress other people. Because if you're trying to do these certain things just to impress other people, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. I'm doing what I'm doing right now to help other people. And that's why we're gaining so much traction and success, because people see that, wow, he's not doing it just for himself or for his ego. He's doing it for other people to make themselves better. So that's why I feel like it can be taught for sure, but you kind of have to make sure everyone's comfortable in that situation where they minded approach where they have to go to high school and then to college and they get to work to 9 to 5. Like I can never, here's the thing, I can never envision myself working on an office 9 to 5. I could never picture it. I was going to school for accounting finance. I was like, but I can't picture myself working. But now I can picture what I'm doing right now every day. Like I envision this. I envision meetings and talking to you guys on the podcast. I thought this through, and that's what I tell all the high schools that I talk to as well as I travel around Pennsylvania about my story and what I've been able to do is just try to inspire them to think outside the box and not care what other people think about you. Because if you do go down that path, it's kind of a slippery slope of trying to constantly impress other people. It's not good for your health. I've kind of dealt with that. And I've learned that at a young age. So now I'm really starting to focus on the next steps of what I want to do and just hearing the stories from some of the high school students as well and what they want to be. And they're saying, Seth, this is helping me, running the social media calendar. You don't understand how much like this is helping me and breaking me out of my shell and talking to these different people and meeting people. So those stories are really like what keeps me going and keeps me going 7 days a week doing this because it is fun, but knowing that I'm positively impacting people's lives is makes really what I'm doing successful. So.
Yeah, that's the key points you're making are part of the theme that we've been building here too. Is that you got to have a greater good. If you're just doing it to pound your chest or me, like you were saying, that's not going to be sustainable. And so that's a great message. And the best way to learn these key skills is to do them. And that's it. It's immediately confidence building, and it's the best way of developing. And then your whole approach with sort of the action-based learning that you're laying out for the high school curriculum is right on. I think that's going to make all the difference in the world for somebody finding a niche and being able to do something with it right away.
Reading about something, they're doing it. That's always kind of learning is so much more powerful.
Yes. Yeah. So Seth, if the listeners want to get in touch with you I think there's two things. There's one, sponsorship. We know of some clients who would be very interested in the folks that you attract. And then second would be schools that we have some client schools that I think would be interested. If another school professional leader would like to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
On our social media, it's the eSport Company on socials. And then my email, Seth at the eSport Company, no S there at the end, just the esportcompany.com is my email. On LinkedIn, you can find me, just type in Seth Mason, Seth Socks, anything. You could try to find.
You're all over. You're all over. Yeah.
Try to be so.
Well, Seth Mason, we want to thank you for joining us today. This has been an incredible conversation, and congratulations to you for all of your success. And I'm going to be following your career. I think Michael will be doing that as well. And great to hear what you've been doing to give back to your community and to make such an important contribution. We want to thank you for being a guest. We want to send you a copy of our book, Strategy Driven Leadership. So we'll be getting that into the mail for you as well. We want to thank our sponsor, Vaco, again, for helping us make the Leadership Cafe such an amazing place to meet terrific young people like Seth Mason. So, and again, we're probably going to have you on again down the road, Seth, to hear about Seth's shoes or something. I don't know what'll be next. So remember, you can pick up this podcast wherever you listen to find podcasts and on our YouTube channel as well. Michael's website, mcassociatesinc.com, and mine, Citrin Consulting, as well as the Vaco.com website. And I'm Richard Citrin, and I'm joined by
Michael Couch, and we really appreciate Seth. Very exciting, very interesting story, and we will be following you. And we want to thank our listeners, and we look forward to connecting with everybody on the next Leadership Cafe podcast.
Yep, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Seth.